Hello everyone, welcome to this first tutorial for procedural building generation inside Unreal Developers Kit. First off, we're gonna talk about what a procedural building actually is and what you can do with it. I'm on the Unreal Developers Network website under procedural buildings, and if we go down we can see a couple of different buildings, and this one is very interesting. Here they show a very complex rule set. This is how a rule set, how it should look, and this is what the engine generates with this rule set. Procedural buildings is for creating buildings in the background of your map. That's where it's usually used for. You can also use it for maybe GTA kind of games. But it gives you a lot of options to quickly generate different buildings. Another thing you can do with this is creating your map with this. This is something I've been working on. Is this rule set. This entire map is generated in one procedural building. This is when I click on it, and you see in my properties I have a procedural building selected, and you can also create something like this with the procedural building generation. So here we see different types of bricks, different sizes, different scales. They have all different offsets, and we have also walls here with leaves on it to give it a bit more variety. And even these stairs are in a procedural generated, so when we make it longer there will actually come more stairs, or shorter there will be less stairs. And that's a different way to use procedural building. It's not that common to use it like this, but I really like it because you can really quickly generate your map with it. So that's two totally different ways to use a procedural building. We can also what we first should do is take a look at how this works. So a procedural building is a volume. Inside the Unreal editor you create a volume and you assign a rule set to it, and this is in the properties, one click. But the rule set uses scopes to it only applies rules to scopes. So every building, every volume, if you create a block, has 6 scopes. Every side is a scope, and when you create a more complex shape like this here, it only creates a scope here and not these triangles here. That's because rules can only be applied to rectangular shapes and not triangle shapes. What it does for the triangle shapes is creating a polygon, and you can apply a texture to it later on, but it's better to just keep working with these rectangular shapes. The polygons just look ugly. You can't apply models to it, so it's just useless. But yeah. So the scope is just, it has a size on the x-axis and a size on the z-axis, and these are stored, and we can play around with these sizes in the facade editor, which is the editor we're gonna create the rule set in. So that's all the basics for the procedural building.